The pen hovered over the signature line. 3:47 p.m. Tuesday. The lease agreement sat on Ryan's mahogany desk. Imported, he told me 3 times. Next to his Breitling watch and keys to the Tesla. Just sign, Emma. He didn't look up from his phone. The building manager needs it today. You're holding up the whole process. I stared at the address. 1247 Morrison Street. 6th floor, corner unit. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the harbor. 3,000 square feet of exposed brick and reclaimed wood. This is a lot of money, Ryan. Our money. He set down his phone, irritated. Or did you forget we're partners now? Partners share expenses. Amber, his assistant, 24, legs for days, leaned against his desk. Her Gucci belt probably cost more than my monthly grocery budget. It's a steal for the location. Ryan's being generous, including you on the lease. Most men wouldn't bother. Most men. I let that sit there between us. The deposit alone is Emma. Ryan's voice sharpened. I've carried this relationship financially for 2 years. You work at a nonprofit, for God's sake. The least you can do is contribute to our future. This space is for the consulting firm on launching. Our firm, if you'd stop being difficult. Our firm. His idea, his clients, his vision. My signature on the liability. Sign. Amber pushed the pen closer. Or admit you're not serious about this relationship. Let me rewind. Show you how we got here. 6 months earlier, the coffee shop on Bennett Street smelled like burnt espresso and old books. I'd been working there since 6 a.m., laptop open, phone on silent. My Target jeans had a hole in the knee. My sweater was from college, fraying at the cuffs. Ryan found me there at noon, surprised. Emma, what are you doing in this dump? I looked up from my spreadsheet. Working. You. Meeting a client nearby. He glanced at my screen, dismissive. Still doing that charity thing? That charity thing. Hope Harbor, a nonprofit providing job training for women leaving domestic violence situations. I'd been their development director for 3 years. Salary, $38,000 annually. Still, I confirmed. He sat anyway, uninvited. Ordered a $12 latte. You know, you could do so much more. You're smart, Emma. Wasting it on people who won't help themselves. I'd heard this before. From Ryan, from others. The belief that poverty was a choice, that struggle meant weakness. They're helping themselves. I'm just providing tools. Sure. He smiled. Handsome, confident. Investment banking, 6 figures, corner office downtown. Listen, I'm starting my own consulting firm. High-end corporate strategy. I could use someone smart to handle operations. Interested? I have a job. A real job, Emma. Not playing savior for minimum wage. I closed my laptop. I'm good. Thanks. But Ryan was persistent. Flowers at my office. Dinner invitations. Tickets to shows I mentioned liking. Slowly, I softened. Started saying yes. He was charming when he wanted to be. Attentive. He remembered details. My favorite wine. My mother's birthday. My college major. What I didn't see then. He remembered to control, not to cherish. 3 months earlier, move in with me. Ryan set it over steak at Morton's. $200 meal, wine included. Ryan, we've only been dating 4 months. Exactly. Why waste money on 2 places? He reached across the table. I have that penthouse in the Pearl District. 3 bedrooms, gym, concierge. You're still in that studio in the Warehouse District. My studio. 400 square feet, exposed pipes, questionable heating. But it was mine. Rent controlled, close to work. I like my place. Emma. He squeezed my hand. Stop being stubborn. This is the next step. Unless you're not serious about us. The waiter refilled my wine. I didn't want more, but drank anyway. I need to think about it. His jaw tightened. There's nothing to think about. Either you're in this relationship or you're not. So I said yes. Moved my thrift store furniture into his designer showcase. Felt small in marble and chrome. Amber appeared 2 weeks later. New assistant, Ryan explained. She's connected. Knows all the right people. She knew something, all right. Knew how to touch his arm while laughing. Knew how to lean close during meetings. Knew how to look at me like I was temporary. Don't be insecure, Ryan said when I mentioned it. She's professional. You're being paranoid. So I swallowed it. Made myself smaller. Quieter. Now which brings us back to this moment. This desk. This lease. I picked up the pen. Read the address again. 1247 Morrison Street. The building I'd purchased 4 years ago through my LLC. The first property I'd ever bought. 6 floors of Victorian architecture, fully renovated, fully leased. Except the 6th floor corner unit. I kept that vacant, waiting for the right tenant. Ryan cleared his throat. Today, Emma. The manager needs it today. What's his name? I asked. The building manager? Does it matter? Just sign. Her name? Amber corrected, annoyed. Sarah something. Shen. Chom. Sarah Choi, I said softly. Ryan looked up. You know her? We've met. I set down the pen. I'm just curious. What did she say when you toured the space? That it's been vacant 6 months. Owners being picky about tenants. He smirked. But I made it clear we're serious professionals. Premium clients. She was impressed. Was she? My phone buzzed. Sarah, he's been calling all day. Should I tell him? I typed back. Not yet. Ryan watched me. Who's that? Work. I looked at the lease again. Section 7, tenant improvements. Section 12, liability. Section 18, owner's right to terminate. Standard commercial lease. Nothing unusual, except the owner's signature line at the bottom. Blank. Waiting. For me. I need to use the restroom. I stood, leaving the lease on Ryan's desk. Emma. His voice carried warning. Don't overthink this. We've been through it 3 times. Amber examined her nails. Some people can't handle success. Too intimidated by ambition. I walked to Ryan's private bathroom, all black marble and gold fixtures, and locked the door. Pulled out my phone. Sarah answered on the first ring. Miss Hartley. He's called 4 more times. Wants to negotiate the rent down. Down from what? The rate I quoted, $4,200 monthly. He says it should be $35, given the neighborhood's transition. I almost laughed. Morrison Street had transitioned, all right, from neglected to booming. Property values had tripled in 4 years. I'd bet on it early, bought the building when everyone said I was crazy. What else? He asked about the owner. Wanted to know if they'd consider seller financing if he decided to buy. Sarah paused. I said the owner wasn't interested in selling. Good. Anything else? His assistant tried to flirt with me. Asked if I wanted to get drinks and discuss the lease terms privately. Sarah's tone was flat. I declined. I appreciate you handling this. Miss Hartley, should I tell him who owns the building? He's signing a lease without. Not yet. Let it play out. I hung up. Washed my hands. Studied myself in Ryan's mirror. The woman looking back wore a clearance rack blouse and department store slacks. No jewelry except the small silver necklace my grandmother left me. Hair pulled back simply. Minimal makeup. Emma Hartley, nonprofit worker. Charity case girlfriend. The woman Ryan was doing a favor by including on his lease. Not Emma Hartley, founder of Cornerstone Holdings LLC. Owner of 3 commercial properties, 2 residential buildings, and a growing real estate portfolio worth $8 million. I kept it quiet. My father, a real estate developer who'd built his empire from nothing, taught me early. Let people underestimate you. Learn more that way. So I did. Worked my nonprofit job, lived modestly, invested aggressively, used my inheritance wisely, built slowly, carefully, told no one. Not Ryan. Not friends. Not even my mother, who worried I wasn't settling down. The door handle rattled. Emma, you okay in there? I opened the door. Ryan stood close, concerned. You're nervous. I get it. Big commitment. Yes, I said. Big commitment. We returned to his desk. Amber had made herself comfortable in his chair. She didn't move when we entered. So, Ryan handed me the pen again. Let's finish this. I have drinks with the Morrison Group at 6. Want to tell them we're official tenants. The Morrison Group? Potential clients. Tech startup, Series B funding, looking for corporate strategy consulting. He smiled. $20,000 contract, minimum. First of many. From the 6th floor of 1247, Morrison Street. Exactly. Location matters. That building's in the perfect spot, close to downtown, harbor views, the right neighborhood. He leaned against the desk. Whoever owns it is sitting on a gold mine. You think so? Obviously. If I had the capital, I'd make an offer. Buildings like that, vintage bones, modern updates, they're cash cows. He gestured at the lease. But first, we need to secure the space. Sighing, I sat down, picked up the pen. Finally, Amber muttered. I read through the lease one more time. Slowly. Every clause, every condition. Emma. Ryan's patience was thinning. You're stalling. I'm being thorough. You always say details matter. Not when. He stopped himself. Smiled tightly. Of course. Take your time. I reached the ownership disclosure. Property owned by Cornerstone Holdings LLC, registered in Oregon. What do you know about the owner? I asked. Ryan shrugged. Some LLC. Probably an investor group. They've been smart with the building. Kept quality tenants. Maintained everything. Didn't overprice. But you want them to lower the rent. That's business, Emma. Always negotiate. Even when the price is fair. Fair is relative. The market determines value, not some arbitrary number a landlord picks. Amber leaned forward. Ryan's right. You have to advocate for yourself. That's what winners do. Winners. I set down the pen again. What now? Ryan's voice hardened. I'm thinking about what you said. About the owner sitting on a gold mine. So maybe they know exactly what they have. Maybe 4,200 is more than fair for that space, that location, that market. Whose side are you on? Amber's eyes narrowed. I'm just saying, this owner clearly knows real estate. Bought that building 4 years ago for $900,000. It's worth $2.4 million now. Renovation cost another $600,000. Every unit is leased at market rate. They've done their homework. Ryan stared at me. How do you know all that? Public records. I looked it up. When you first mentioned the address, I met his eyes. I researched big financial commitments. He taught me that. He relaxed slightly. Good. Smart. So you see, this owner is savvy, which means there's room to negotiate. They'll respect the effort. Or they'll think you don't respect their pricing. Emma. His patience snapped. Sign the lease or don't. But stop pretending you're some real estate expert. You work at a nonprofit. I'm trying to build something here. With or without you. Amber smiled. Without might be simpler. The room went quiet. Ryan didn't correct her. Didn't tell her to back off. Just watch me, waiting. You're right, I said finally. I'm not a real estate expert. Then trust me. This is my world. I do trust you. I picked up the pen. I trust you to be exactly who you are. I signed. My handwriting clear, steady. Emma Hartley. Ryan exhaled. Thank God. Was that so hard? I slid the lease across the desk. Your turn. He signed quickly, flourished. Passed it to Amber. Witness. She signed, triumphant. Done. Ryan collected the papers. I'll drop this with Sarah tomorrow. We can move in next week. Actually, I said, Sarah asked for the signed lease today. She's particular about deadlines. Fine. I'll scan and email it now. He opened his laptop. I stood. I need to go. Work emergency. Now. He looked up, annoyed. Yes. Hope Harbor needs me for a donor meeting. Of course they do. Amber's voice dripped contempt. God forbid the charity manages without you for one day. I collected my thrift store purse. Ryan, have fun at your drinks with the Morrison Group. Tell them I'm excited about the new space. You're not coming? Nonprofit emergency, remember? You understand. His jaw tightened. But he nodded. Go. Do your charity thing. I left. Took the elevator down 42 floors. Stepped into afternoon sun. My phone buzzed. Sarah, lease received? Me. He's emailing it now. Schedule the tenant meeting for Monday, 9 a.m. Sarah, both parties? Me, all three. Ryan Brennan, Emma Hartley, and the owner of Cornerstone Holdings. Sarah, this is going to be interesting. I smiled. Hailed a cab. Gave the driver an address. 1247 Morrison Street. My building. My investment. My first step toward financial independence. Ryan thought he was signing a lease. He was really signing his own lesson. Monday, 9 a.m. The 6th floor corner unit at 1247 Morrison Street flooded with morning light. Harbor views stretched beyond the windows. The exposed brick glowed warm. The refinished floors gleamed. Ryan arrived first, confident in his Tom Ford suit. Amber followed, recording everything on her phone. For social media, she announced. Our followers want to see the office reveal. Sarah greeted them professionally. Mr. Brennan, Ms. Chun. Welcome. Please make yourselves comfortable. The owner will join us shortly. The owner? Ryan frowned. I thought this was just a welcome meeting. Standard procedure for new tenants. Cornerstone Holdings likes to meet everyone personally. Amber set her phone on the window ledge, filming the view. This is perfect. Ryan, stand there. Look successful. He obliged, preening. I arrived at 9:07 a.m. Same thrift store clothes, same minimal makeup. Carried a leather portfolio my father gave me when I started Cornerstone. Emma. Ryan stared. What are you doing here? Tenant meeting. I set the portfolio on the counter. Sarah invited both of us. But he looked confused. I thought you had work. I do. I'm here. Sarah checked her watch. The owner should be here any moment. Great. Amber stopped filming. How long will this take? Ryan calls. Not long. Sarah glanced at me. Actually, the owner is already here. The room went still. What? Ryan looked around. Where? I opened my portfolio. Pulled out documents. Right here. Sarah smiled. Everyone, meet Emma Hartley, founder and sole proprietor of Cornerstone Holdings LLC, owner of this building and 4 other properties in the city. Ryan's face went blank. That's not funny. It's not a joke. I laid out the documents. Articles of incorporation, property deed, renovation permits, all in my name, through my LLC. Amber's laugh was shrill. You? You work at a nonprofit for like $30,000 a year. $38,000, I corrected. And yes, I do, because I love that work. But I also invest. I've been since I was 22. Invest with what? Ryan found his voice. You don't have money. You assumed I don't. I never said that. I pulled out my phone, showed him my bank statement. My father taught me real estate. Left me $200,000 when he died. I turned it into this. The number on the screen made Amber gasp. That's your. Ryan couldn't form sentences. I bought this building 4 years ago, before we met. Renovated it myself. Hired contractors, managed the project, leased every unit. This floor I kept vacant, waiting for the right tenant. So you. He looked at the lease. You knew. This whole time. I knew you were trying to rent from me, yes. Sarah told me when you first inquired. Why didn't you say something? Because I wanted to see what you'd do. How you treat your partner when you thought she had no power. Sarah quietly excused herself. Amber stood frozen, phone forgotten. Emma. Ryan's voice softened, calculating. Honey, if I'd known, you'd what? Treated me differently? Respected my opinion? Not called my career a charity thing or demanded I sign leases I wasn't comfortable with. I was trying to include you. You were trying to use me. My signature on your liability. My credit backing your risk. All while telling me I had nothing to contribute financially. Amber moved toward the door. I should go. Actually, I said, you should stay. You witnessed the lease. You're part of this. She froze. I turned back to Ryan. Here's what happens now. The lease you signed is valid. $4,200 monthly. First and last month due immediately, plus security deposit. Total, $16,800. Due by end of business today. Emma, we can work something out. No negotiation. Those are the terms you agreed to. But I thought, we're together. Partners. Partners respect each other. You spent 6 months telling me I'm not enough. Not successful enough. Not ambitious enough. Not contributing enough. I collected my documents. Turns out, I'm all those things. I just didn't perform them for your approval. His face hardened. You lied. I omitted. Like you omitted that Amber isn't just your assistant. Like you omitted that your consulting firm is failing before it starts because you've already lost 2 clients for being arrogant. He blanched. How did you? Sarah's connected in this city. So am I. The Morrison Group? They canceled your meeting Friday. Said you were condescending during the preliminary call. Amber's hand covered her mouth. This whole thing, Ryan gestured wildly. This setup, you humiliated me. No, I gave you rope. You hung yourself. I moved toward the door. You have until 5 p.m. to wire the funds. After that, the lease is void and I'll relist the space. Emma, please. He followed me. I'm sorry. I was an idiot. We can start over. We can't. Because this isn't about the money or the building. It's about how you see people. I'll change. You'll change tactics. Not perspective. I stopped at the elevator. You saw a nonprofit worker and assumed poverty. Assumed weakness. Never asked about my life, my family, my goals. Just decided who I was and treated me accordingly. That's not, Amber. I looked at her. He'll do the same to you. Once you're not useful, you'll be replaceable. Ask his last 3 assistants. She paled. The elevator dinged. I stepped inside. Where do I send the money? Ryan's voice was hollow. Sarah has the wire instructions. And Ryan? I'm keeping your security deposit when you inevitably break the lease in 3 months. Clause 18. Owner's discretion. The doors began closing. I loved you, he said. No. You loved the idea of me. The grateful girlfriend who'd worship you for scraps. That woman doesn't exist. The door sealed shut. She never did. 6 months later, I stood in the same sixth floor corner unit, now occupied by a women's business collective, entrepreneurs, freelancers, consultants, all women rebuilding after setbacks. Hope Harbor had expanded. We'd opened a job training center in my building's third floor, rent-free. My donation. My phone rang. My mother, calling from Arizona. Emma, honey, I saw the article. Nonprofit director builds real estate empire while serving community. I'm so proud. Thanks, Mom. I wish your father could see this. He knew. I told him my plans before he died. He said, build quiet, reveal loud. She laughed. That sounds like him. After we hung up, I walked through the space. Women working, collaborating, building their futures. Ryan had paid the lease for 3 months before breaking it. Exactly as I predicted. Lost his security deposit. His consulting firm folded. Last I heard, he was back at his old investment banking job, humbled. Amber had quit the day after our meeting. Applied to work at Hope Harbor. I'd hired her for fundraising. She was good at it. Turns out, she'd been mimicking Ryan's arrogance to survive in his world. Given the chance to be herself, she thrived. My portfolio had grown. 8 properties now. All managed carefully. All serving the community. People asked how I'd hidden it so long. Why I'd worked at a nonprofit while building an empire. Simple. The nonprofit work was never separate from the investing. It was the point. I'd survived poverty as a kid. Watched my father claw his way up. Learned that wealth without purpose is just hoarding. That power without compassion is just cruelty. Ryan thought power meant domination. Control. Making others feel small. I knew better. Power meant options. Safety. The ability to help others find their own strength. The building around me hummed with life. Women starting businesses, learning skills, building futures. This was my legacy. Not the properties or the money. The space I created for others to grow. Ryan had demanded I sign a lease for his ego. Instead, I'd built a foundation for my community. He'd wanted a trophy girlfriend to boost his image. He got a lesson in underestimating quiet women. The woman in the thrift store clothes had been watching, learning, planning. And when the moment came, she didn't just win. She built something better than victory. She built a future where women like her, women dismissed and underestimated, could walk into rooms and know their worth. Not because someone gave them permission, but because they'd always had the power. They just needed the space to use it.